Bickle. No, we turned, we saw the ball, and we were both trying to go for it. So 2's better than 1, 2's better than none. And we just we saw each other, and it was just too soon to stop. We were like, oh, I was like, ah. And then we belly flopped. But I'm good. She's good. She got to be good. I'm not that heavy.
Did you get the wind knocked out of you?
Yeah, I was just trying to breathe. I was on the floor, and I feel like I couldn't get a deep breath. I'm good.
I don't think I've ever seen a coach give an injury update.
Oh, in the middle of it. I heard it. I was like, it was cute. I heard, like, the gym was really quiet, so I feel like she was just trying to let them know, like, I was good. Because I was good, but, like, I don't know, I had a towel over my head, so people were probably like, what's going on? That's a good coach right there.
We didn't even get to come see you. I was like, do we go? Do we stay?
It was yeah. It was cute.
It looked like, for both of y'all, defensive rebounding was a focus. I mean, I know that was all week. And, it seemed like y'all attacked that today. Yes?
Most definitely. If you would have saw this week's worth of practice, you would have expected us to rebound today. I feel like we definitely missed some. We can definitely get better at it, me especially, but you could tell that we really try to put a focus on that one.
With Jaden, with you attacking the rim, it seemed like once you got a full head of steam, they couldn't stop you. You had a couple reverse layups back to back to back. What was working for you in terms of that?
I think when I have shooters out on the perimeter, it makes it easier. You kind of have to make them the way they shoot out there, they can't help in. You know what I'm saying? Because then that's a easy kick, that's an easy 3. So I feel like they'd probably rather go 2 for 2 rather than 3s for 2. But I mean, it makes it so much easier having people out on the perimeter like Bella, Jamie, Jana, Bickle, everybody that can shoot a 3. So it makes it a little bit easier.
Jaden, finishing around the rim, has that been a real focus for you personally lately, or is that just kind of showing more now because of the way the games have been?
I think, one, it has been a focus with Coach Chloe. She's really, like, when we work out, of working on my touch around the rim, of just knowing. Not being a big guard, I'm not going to get in there most of the time, but making my defense play honest to where, once again, I can kick it out. So, yeah, it's a focus. I think it's made it easier, like I said before, having shooters on the perimeter. It makes it a lot easier, and then once they start coming in on me, then I can just kick it out.
Jaden, you had a play in the fourth quarter. You kind of lost the ball a little bit, maybe.
Oh.
Recovered it. I mean, that was kind of a playground move.
Yeah.
It was the pose at the end after the finish.
Yeah, it went off my knee, and then it went off her knee, then went off my knee. And then I was like, I just need to pick this thing up. And I don't know, I luckily got it up, but I tricked myself. Even the fans on the sideline were kind of like, whoa, we got a circus here. I was like, yeah, I fooled myself.
Bella, double-double with 11 rebounds.
Yes, sir.
How big was that for you, and particularly with maybe some other people out? How much did you feel like you needed to step up, particularly on the boards?
Honestly, I feel like because we do have those people out, it's an emphasis that Coach Nikki has given me since I started the first game. She's like, okay, we need you to crash. She tells me all the time in practice, she's like, Bella, stop watching, go get the ball out of everybody. You can get in there with everybody and get it. So that definitely has been a big emphasis for me.
There in the fourth quarter, there was a play where the ball got loose and Jana dove for it. I mean, is that the kind of team that y'all want to be, though? Is, no matter the score, you're giving it up for the team?
Absolutely, because whenever you can do they seem like little things, but that's not a little thing. That's like, hustle is an intangible. And when we can do that now in games like this, it's obviously going to come whenever we need it big time in big games.
Jaden, with, again, some of those players out, how big was that? Like Kendra's minutes, Kyla, I mean, y'all got good contribution from the bench, actually.
I feel like that just shows how deep we can go. When we have a few people down, I really feel like the bench stepped up. I think they show that they're capable of doing whatever Coach Nikki needs. And, I mean, you saw, like, the last minute of the game, we played with all bigs. No point was in. And I just really feel like that showed, like, we can adjust. And I don't know, it really made me happy just knowing, like, each person stepped up, they took it as a challenge, and I really feel like they overcame that challenge today.
Do you feel like you have kind of expanded your role this year? Because it seems like you're living your best life.
I'm living my best life.
Amen.
Once again, I just want to do what's best for my team. Whatever my team needs, if that's Coach Tony saying I need to get in there and rebound more, knowing I'm a 3, I need to play as a big guard, I'm going to do that. Or defensively, whatever my team needs for me to do, I want to do. I want to be able to be the one to where Coach Nicky like, Jaden, you have to go in and guard the post. I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they need. If I can't do it, I'm going to find a way to do it. And I'm going to make it happen.
You guys forced 25 turnovers today and 27 points off of those turnovers. What do you think was working well on the defensive side, and do you think that kind of sparked the offense in a way?
Absolutely. I think just our aggression on the ball. Bugs had, I don't know how many where she tipped it or stole it. And so did you, so did Jamie. Like, everybody really, that was an emphasis for us, was just focusing in on defense and making it difficult and being in those gaps and those passing lanes so that we can get those extra opportunities.
Was it nice to have a week off after 3 games in 3 days?
Did we get a week off?
We got 2 days off. It was definitely very much so needed. Yeah, those 2 days were definitely needed. We're going to go for a little bit before we get our next break, but I don't know. I feel like the coaches, Jeremy, is very well at making sure our bodies are taken care of, whether it's massages, extra stretching on the floor, mobility, anything like that. So, yeah, it was definitely needed.
I feel like the games maybe a little easier than practice.
You know what? You're supposed to practice that way, though. If you
Yeah.
practice more intense and harder in the game, it's the chaos and things going around you are not going to impact you as much. So,
Thank you.
I thought for the most part, I thought we had a couple possessions where we just let them run in from the perimeter. I mean, they were missing, because of illness, one of their best shooter, honestly. And because of that, they were slowing it down. They were running a lot of clock in each possession, and they were 5 out a lot, or 4 out, 1 in, and they were just picking on our smallest, player, matchup wise. And so, we needed to do a better job still checking them at times from the perimeter. I thought 33 for them got on the offensive boards a little too much, and we just didn't hit her early because she was coming from the perimeter. But I thought for the most part we rebounded. We obviously created a lot of turnovers tonight. Certainly a lot of those were dead ball turnovers. There was a lot of travels by them. But I thought we definitely paid a little better attention to, like, kind of knowing our personnel. And most of our offense early in the game was created off our defense. I didn't think our offense was super pretty at certain moments in the game. And so I thought we kind of gave ourselves a lift by being aggressive at the defensive end.
What is Sarah's injury/status?
Yeah, she had sprained her ankle in the SMU game, and she re-aggravated it in practice. And so, hopefully we'll have her back for the next game, but I think she's day-to-day right now. But it's the same ankle. She had just kind of gotten over and started to feel better and landed on someone's foot shooting the basketball. So, yeah, bummed about that for sure.
It seemed like Jaden really stepped up, and I asked her about just her role this year. It seems like, she's obviously having her most productive minutes at Baylor. You like what you see from her?
Yeah, I like Jaden when she's making good decisions. I think she's an energy player. I think she's incredibly fast in transition. I just want her to search paint touches on every possession. I think Jaden makes the kick out 3 when she's wide open and her feet are set. And so as long as she stays in tune to doing those things, she shot a step back early. I was fine with the one at the end of the second quarter because I was trying to go 2 for 1. But the earlier one, because I actually think that if you look at the analytics on 2 for 1, when you tell a kid to go get a shot, they tend to make it because they confidently know they're supposed to take it. But I don't like shooting step backs in transition without a paint touch. And so as long as she continues to play downhill, play to the rim, make good decisions, she really, really helps us.
It seemed like she kind of found that in the second half. She was attacking the rim a lot more. How dangerous is she when she can get downhill?
Yeah, I mean, her and Sarah both are good when they play downhill, and I think, if I was disappointed with anything, and some of this is on me. We did not focus on Houston Christian with this week. We didn't. We focused on Baylor, and we didn't spend a lot of time going against ice defense. And so they were switching ball screens 3 through 5 with their littles or our littles. They were icing, and the whole baseline was open when they were icing, and we just were super tentative, like we'd never played out of ice before. And Jaden got better playing on the baseline late. Bella ripped it and went. They weren't even in good post position in their ices. They just were jumping up and trying to let us not use the screen, and I think we could attack to a layup. Jamie even attacked to a jump shot, the one jump shot she made late. So. I just thought she was more aggressive coming off our step-ups in transition. I thought she was more aggressive in the ice, not messing around. And so, I've said this before. I think offensively, I consider myself a bit of an artist. And when it doesn't look like when it looks like kindergarten art, I get a little frustrated. But some of that's on me because there's 14 different ways to guard a ball screen, and ice is probably the lowest volume that we see. And so we were really bad at it early in the last year too, and then we got better at it. Now by the time we play Kansas, we've got to be great at it because they're a really good ice team. So, so I would say from that perspective, we did a pretty good job as the game went along, but we were super tentative early.
Nikki, is Bella just playing with confidence? I mean, when I watch her, particularly on the 3-pointers, like she just looks confident taking that shot.
I'll tell you, I don't know. Sometimes I think kids fake confidence, and I don't mean that she is. I just think she probably, when she stepped on campus this summer, looked the least intimidated. Really looked like she belonged from the beginning. Then she kind of tweaked her knee and missed a couple weeks this summer, but in the summer we're going 45 minutes at a time. We're super limited, and then the more volume of stuff that gets in, the more different ways to guard a ball screen defensively, the more you're trying to make her play multiple positions, the more, and your head gets jumbled with all of that. I think some of that confidence, a little bit dissipates because the one thing about Bella is she's a perfectionist, and she's a black-white, and basketball is gray, and you gotta trust the gray parts of it. And so at times she wants to get everything right so bad that you get it wrong because you're overthinking and not playing. When she just plays, you see what you saw tonight. Like when she just doesn't think and plays, and doesn't let her mind get in the way of some of her natural instincts. She may forget what we're doing, but she tends to end up in the right spot to do something good. And obviously, sometimes I don't know, it's interesting from an athleticism perspective. Kyla and Bella just keep going up. When the ball is up in the air, when you see Bella go get the ball on a defensive or an offensive rebound, she just keeps climbing. When we threw the lob to Kyla, I told her I wanted her to dunk in the timeout. But the pass wasn't in position for her to dunk. Not that she would have, but that's what I told her I wanted. And I think that's the part of Bella's game that she's just so bouncy, and sometimes defensively she's it hurts her because she leans too much and doesn't stay balanced. But when it comes to going and getting the ball, it's pretty impressive.
Fourth quarter, there's a play where ball gets loose, Janet dives for it. Obviously you guys are winning by however many at that point, but you love that kind of hustle.
Yeah, well, when you do what we did this week in practice, they knew they were going to be on film if they didn't. We had a drill this week, and they'll have nightmares about it, I'm sure. But they had to get 2 stops against our 2 shiftiest. They're probably 5'11" and 6-foot scout guys, and they had to get back-to-back stops against Chase and Braden, and then they had to take a charge, and then they had to get up and dive on a loose ball. And then they had to sprint ahead and back tap. I don't know if you noticed Jamie's back tap before the end of the second quarter. That was the drill, and you didn't get out, until you got all 5 things done. And if you didn't get 2 stops in a row, you went to the end of the line, and you did it again, And so they heard the message, that honestly, like, the kid that gets hurt is the one that doesn't dive. It's not usually the one that dives. The first to the floor is usually the one that's safer, And so as much as people don't like to dive, when you're in a scrum and the ball's loose, the first to the floor, A, usually gets the ball, and B, usually ends up being the one that doesn't get hurt. And so kind of training them, like, I struggle at times, I'll admit, especially last year and coming from the pros, you're always protecting your players. And so you don't want to do a lot of drills that you feel like create opportunity for someone to get hurt. I've seen a charge drill before and been a part of a program where we had a kid break a wrist because they put their hand back, on a charge drill. But I just felt like we weren't tough enough. Tony felt like we weren't tough enough. And so, we said we're going to keep doing it until you guys prove game in and game out that we don't need to do a toughness drill in practice because you're going to do it, when the game's on the line.
Nikki, with a quick turnaround, nobody played just a ton of minutes. I guess Bugs played 30, but was that good or was that planned to try to maybe keep them off the court a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we were obviously limited in numbers, so, some of them played a little more, even given the nature of the score. I mean, you look like I had to clear the bench at the end, and I had 5 bigs, on the court at once. So you saw our first 2 possessions, a 2-3 zone. So now officially teams are shooting 0% against our zone, which is good for synergy purposes. But they're, down Sarah, down Katarina. That's 2 guards in the mix, and so Jaden was asking to come out, and I said, well, only if Jamie can go back in, because Jamie wasn't feeling great. And so, but yeah, I mean, it's relative to 3 games in 3 days, it's not a quick turnaround, but certainly quality of opponent. I feel like UTA is a team that obviously gave us trouble at the beginning of last season. We made a big run in the 3rd quarter to kind of blow it open a year ago. But an NCAA tournament team, they're big and athletic and are going to mix zone and man and do some different things. And so far this season, their record is, they've nearly gotten beat by teams that they're probably considerably better than. But then they've been really good against good opponents. So they seem to be playing a little bit to the level of their competition. So, I anticipate, a really physical, really athletic game on Wednesday, and I am glad it's Wednesday instead of Tuesday, even though I certainly wish our volleyball team was hosting. I'm happy for them. Congrats to them for making the Sweet 16.
About Katarina, what's her?
Violation of team rules. We had some accountability fun this week.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.